Guys, today we're going from this to this. Sorry guys, I had to remove the triple clamp and take it to the workshop because I don't have good drills to get the lock mechanism out. If you wonder how to get the triple clamp off, just watch my previous video on installing the handlebars. There you can see how to get the triple clamp on the top off. Once you get it off, there's a connector that will go to the lock mechanism that is screwed by these two holes from underneath into the triple clamp, and disconnect that. If you disconnect that, you can remove the whole triple clamp with the lock mechanism inside. Once you've done that, you need a good drill and a lot of patience, because the screws that are screwed from underneath the triple clamp into the ignition part of the bike, they don't have any holes in them, they're flat, so you need to drill this. And what I did was punch a small hole in the center and start with a small drill, and then drilled it bigger and bigger. And then you take a Torx key, which is about the same size that you have, and just put it in the hole and punch it as hard as you can, so it will leave indentations inside the screw, so you can unscrew this. You can apply some heat because it's Loctite. So you wonder why don't they use standard screws here? It's for protecting your bike so it won't be stolen, so people just can't remove the triple clamp and remove the ignition and start it. So this is the tricky part here. Drill small holes bigger and bigger, and then take a Torx bits, put it in the hole and just hammer it down hard, and then carefully unscrew these screws. If you're not sure how to do that, I guess you probably could leave your triple clamp to the nearest bike shop and they would probably help you to get rid of these. You won't be needing these. What you end up with is this connector, a big hole here, and the whole ignition part. And this is screwed with tiny screws in these holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a lot of screws. And you can remove this part. Let me set this down for you. So you can remove this part, and you have some more screws underneath here, and the screws look like this, tiny Torx screws, and you will have, sorry it's hard to do this with one hand, set this down again. This part, plastic part, will be loose, and it's jammed inside, so you can remove this. There's a good weight to this. This is where you have your steering lock coming out and the whole ignition. You won't be needing this anymore. And this is the part that you will need. There's a key there, or button, push button, and that will allow current to come to the bike. So with the Jet Prime package, you will get this, and as you can see, there's a heel here that will go push down that button. So you will need your key. So take your key, and there's a slot there. Push the key into the slot, and then put this here. Make sure it's there, and then screw these screws, which I will do, and I will get back to you. So this is what you should end up with. Make sure the screws are all the way down, otherwise you will not activate the switch inside. So the switch should be pushed down, and I use the TX10, Torx 10 to screw these. Make sure they're really tight, these screws, otherwise the switch will not be pushed down. So that part is done. Next, we need to get this electrical harness with a kill switch in there, and there's a junction here. So one part will go into the electrical box, and the other part will attach to your existing harness. Right, there is an important part here. You have to feed this through this way before anything else. Let's see if I can do this without getting you seasick. Be careful with your TFT when you're working so close to it. So the kill switch button will go in. And it's just snapped and pressed down. You don't need to screw it or do anything. Make sure that the text is correct and straight, and just shove it down there. And it's stuck. So you end up with this. And then the other side of the harness, you have two junctions. Make sure that you route this so you're not tangling in anything that is being tangled. And having a look inside here, I can see that this part needs to go there. And I will attach this and get back to you. I need my both hands. So that one is attached to the harness. There's no way you can do this the wrong way because it's male female, and there's no way you can put male to male. So this part comes from bike's original harness, and this is Jet Prime part. So you'll end up with one connection left, and that connection is for this side. I will attach this and get back to you. So this is the end result. As you can see, one connected here, the other one to the main harness. I just leave this on this side and show you how this works. So what you do is you press there, and you have current to your bike, and then you just start it as usual. And if you press there, it's dead. So to get the current, you just press it there, and you can just kill it by pressing it again. So the tricky part here is where to hide this in case of a crash. And the obvious place would be down here somewhere, but I don't recommend it because you have your steering damper here and you'll get it stuck. So that's not a good place. So don't put it in there. What I found was in between the where the indicators go, and the air intake. There is a small spot there. Maybe you can jam it in there somehow. I'll figure it out and get back to you. So guys, I just shoved this inside here. You cannot see it, and we are on top of the air intake. I zip tied here the rest cables, and then zip tied the whole unit with the key inside. I don't know if you can see it or not, to the fairing holder in the front. So that's what I end up with. And just move your steering so you see that nothing is caught nowhere before you leave, so you don't get tangled in something and crash. So the benefit of this, of course, is if you crash, your key breaks inside here, that's the end of your track day or race. So this almost happened to me on my R1. The key was really bent, so I had to carefully remove it, and risking to break the key inside, and then I had to straighten the key later and carefully start the bike. With this, you will not have that problem. There's a downside to this though. If you're using your bike on the road, on the streets, anybody could start your bike and drive away. So what you need to do is, if you're going on the street, you need to remove the key from the box and have it in your pocket, and that means that you need to have the TX10 with you, and remove the key, open the key box and remove the key, and then when you get back to your bike from work or whatever, put the key inside. So don't forget that it's really easy to steal a bike with this system, because anybody can start it. So that's that.